All right, so today I got a quick announcement for you all, and I also want to show you how to create unique attributes within an Appwrite database. So apparently, I didn't realize a lot of people actually struggle to understand how this works within Appwrite. So I'll show you that, and we'll also talk about today's announcement, which is Upserts within an Appwrite database. So let's talk about the announcement. So Upserts stand for insert or update. And basically, if you're trying to create a new document within an Appwrite database, what happens is if you have a unique value like an ID, or let's say you have user profiles and you want a username to be unique. So there's only one username that's going to be allowed within a collection of a certain type. So we want to make sure we don't get duplicates. Well, typically for this, it's not that hard to do that. You can create a method like this where you try to create a document, and if the username that's unique here, so Dennis Ivy, if that already exists, we would throw an error, and then we can just update that document. So let's say I want to change the name, but I want to reference this username. So this is not that hard to do, but the upsert method does make this a lot cleaner. So let me show you how this works. So for this, we can now call database.upsert document. And we're going to go ahead and just pass in the same values here. So we're going to pass in the database ID, the collection ID, and then we'll throw in the new ID that we generate for this user, and then the username. So I'm just going to remove this try catch statement now. So we don't need to do this. It takes care of all of this for us. And this is how Upsert works here. Now, what's going to happen is on the first iteration, when we run this method, it's going to add this document. And then the next time we run it, if this document exists, it's going to go ahead and update it. Now, there is going to be a warning here, and that's because I am using the Node Appwrite server SDK. So on the client side, we can use the Upsert document method. So that's what this specific tutorial is for. Now, on the server side, we can use the Upsert documents method. So that's with the bulk API that we talked about in a previous video on this channel. So I wanted to show you both versions, and the Upsert documents method allows you to update more than one document at a time. So this is how we're supposed to run it. And on the server side, this right here needs to be an array. So we can just take this value right here where we're generating the ID, and we need to bring this into this object here because we can create multiple documents at once. So now I can pass in the ID value, and then we generate a unique ID. So that's the only difference. So remember, client side is update document, and we pass in the payload like we normally would. Server side, it's update documents with an S at the end right here. And this is how it works. So we just pass in an array around everything. Now, in order to make sure that this value is actually unique, so we still don't have any data here. So we have our documents. I want to make sure that the username is unique. So I'll go into indexes here, and this is how we can create that. So for the index key, I'm not going to worry about that. For the attribute, I'm going to select username, and I'm going to select unique right here, and that's going to ensure that the username is now unique. So that's how we select or set unique attributes. Now, if I go ahead and save this, and let's just run it. So I'm going to run node main.js. That's going to trigger the function here. So I call it down here. And then if I refresh it, this in theory should add this new user. So here we see Dennis Ivy and then the name Dennis Ivy. Now, let's say I just want to update the name here, and I just want my name to be Dennis. I don't want to show my last name here. So if I run that again, and let's check this out. So if I refresh this, this should change to Dennis, and it's not going to add a new name. So there we go. Now it updated the item instead of creating it. And because this is the bulk API, we can do this for multiple values, and as long as we have a unique value there, it'll work. So that's it for my quick demo, but I also want to make sure to mention this article that's going to be linked up in the video description, and this is the official announcement article, and specifically, I want to highlight some of the use cases and benefits to using the Upsert method. So Jake was the one that released this article. He's our engineering lead, and he mentions things like fewer network calls, so now we don't have to make that create request and then try to update it after that request fails. We can also make sure that our application is consistent across multiple clients, so data is always compatible, and it's also cleaner and simpler code, which we all saw. So that's it. Make sure to check this article out if you're going to use something like this, and I'll see you all in the next video.